Thank you all for joining us and participating and celebrating the Katonah Museum of Art's 2020 Gala. I am Michael Gitlitz, and I have the honor of serving as Executive Director. We are here to support the KMA because we know how important this treasure of an institution is to us and to our community. Everyone who visits a transformative exhibition at the KMA, whether here or virtually, everyone who attends an inspirational event or an engaging program, everyone who contributes their time, who becomes a member or who generously donates funds, and everyone attending this gala right now has the right to call this your museum. It belongs to all of you, and it is an essential part of your family. It's easy to take for granted how rare it is for a community to have a gem of a museum like ours. But if you've ever brought in a friend or loved one from somewhere else and seen their reaction, it renews your perspective and your pride. You realize just what we have here and what it can continue to become. And that is what we are celebrating tonight, a renewed vision, a revision, a rediscovery of moving art and provocative ideas. The Katonah Museum of Art really is a unique institution. It is a Kunsthal, or non-collecting museum of art, that is intimate but worldly, a refuge, but also a window to a world of diverse ideas and experiences. The exhibitions such as Sparkling Amazons and Bisa Butler are both accessible and scholarly. The education programs like Arte Juntos and Thinking Through the Arts are innovative with far-reaching impact. And events range from sophisticated lectures to exuberant dance parties. This combination of elements is part of what makes the KMA so special. But these elements cannot exist. These ingredients could not have come together without the rare combination of people who are part of the KMA and who bring them to life. There is the incredible hardworking and skilled staff, a professional powerhouse that does the work of an institution twice its size. There is the group of committed volunteers and loyal members, a group which is growing as more and more people discover the KMA. And there is a board that is experienced and dynamic, led by its inspiring and talented board president, Vida Fubister. Vida and her fellow board members, along with KMA Emeriti, advisory board, and committee members, embody selfless philanthropy and forward-thinking leadership. From top to bottom, they and you are the KMA, and the KMA is visionary. Together we form quite a coalition. It's almost a movement. Let's call it the KMA Visionary Movement. It is a movement that through art empowers, energizes, and uplifts an ever-widening circle of people. Let's celebrate that expansion as we look to the future. We hope that you enjoy tonight's gala, including newly choreographed dance performances by Megan Williams and her dance collaborators, Reika Escherer, Minga Prather, and Michael Wang. A silent auction with art, valuable items, and experiences. A live art auction with Sotheby's auctioneer Christy Williams Coombs, a new short film by Vanessa Smith, and messages from board president Vida Fubister and Gala co-chairs Melissa and Dave Dilmagani. So, eat, drink, watch, dance, and be merry. And don't forget to bid early and often.
That was amazing. Thank you so much to Megan Williams, who collaborated with Reka Ashera, Minga Prather, and Michael Wang to begin our evening tonight with the creative energy of dance. Megan told us that the dancers' performances this evening would embody their physical responses to Bisa Butler's vivid portraits, which are on view at the museum for one more day, through tomorrow, before they travel to the Art Institute of Chicago. A belated thank you also to Michael Gitlitz for opening the evening and introducing me. I want to welcome everyone to the Katonah Museum of Art's first virtual gala. While I wish that we could be together in person, we have an exciting program planned to celebrate the KMA. Thank you so much for joining us. When I transitioned into the role of board president this summer, one of the museum's former presidents suggested that I convene a meeting of the KMA's past presidents. There were nearly 10 of us, including Debbie Mullen and Ellen Grimes, the museum's last presidents, and Inga Brown, the museum's first president, who joined the meeting by Zoom on a sunny and New York humid July day. As a journalist, I have spent my career telling people's stories, and so I asked the former presidents to start by sharing their KMA stories. That is, the story of their first engagement and subsequent commitment to this gem of a museum. Not surprisingly, the meeting extended long beyond the hour I had allotted for it. While the story each president told was different, there was a common thread. We all came for the art, but it was the people, the community who has gathered together tonight that drew us in and continues to inspire us to support and grow the KMA's mission to share art and culture with diverse audiences. Tonight, as we focus on the theme of revisioning, I want to return to the museum's founding story. It is the story of the women who came together to found the KMA, who pooled their collective strengths and imaginations to create and build a cultural institution that continues to evolve to this day. As many of you know, at the time the KMA was founded in 1954, they would drive into the city to the loading docks of the Metropolitan Museum, MoMA, and other major New York City institutions, load an artwork on loan for an upcoming exhibition into the trunk of their station wagons, and drive it back to Katonah, often stopping for gas on the way. While these women might not have had the professional opportunities that are open to women today, they did not let this limit their vision. And thankfully, at that time, there were few constraints on the transport and loan of incredibly valuable works of art. As we look forward to the Katonah Museum of Art's next year and beyond, I want us to be like these women. While there might be restrictions on our social interactions, there are no limitations on our creative spirits. The KMA staff, who I recently have had the opportunity to interact with on a more regular basis, embodied this perseverance in the spring. Within a few weeks of the lockdown, they transitioned the museum's operations from an in-person experience constrained by brick and mortar to a virtual format that continues to be accessible to all through the web. Bisa Butler's incredible artwork was hanging in our galleries, and while no one could visit, people around the world were able to take a virtual tour on our website. Bisa, think of the lives you have touched, including many who during a normal exhibition would have been unable to visit our institution in Katonah, New York. Live events with artists including Michelle Okadonor, whose outdoor bronze sculptures Manna and Primal self-portrait currently welcome all visitors to the museum, also became virtual. We were physically separate, but united in our renewed appreciation for the solace and redemptive power of art. I can't tell you what the next weeks or months will hold, but I can reassure you that the KMA will be there to hearten you when you have lost hope. It will be there to give you comfort when you feel distressed and overwhelmed. It will provide you with community and friendship when you feel isolated. Thank you for joining us tonight to celebrate the Katonah Museum of Art and to reimagine what we can do together. I look forward to continuing to tell the KMA story with you. Now, I want to introduce you to the KMA staff, the people who work tirelessly behind the scenes to make our ideas come to life. Please join me in thanking them as we move forward in our program.
2020 has been a challenging but exciting year. We've expanded our limits as a staff, and we're gratified with how we've evolved to transform our programs and outreach to a new virtual environment. We thank you, and we hope to see you soon for Hands on Earth, Rothko, and so many more education and public programs. We couldn't do this without you. So from all of us to all of you, thank you.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm thrilled to be here with all of you today, celebrating the Katonah Museum of Art. My name is Christy Williams-Coombs, and on behalf of Sotheby's, I'm pleased to be your auctioneer for the live auction portion of this evening's fantastic event. We'll start first with lot number 1, showing here on my right, the Harry Callahan beautiful early silver print photograph, Chicago Trees in Snow. Ladies and gentlemen, we can get the bidding started at $5,000. The artist born in Detroit, he cited a visit by Ansel Adams at the local camera club in 1941 as the time he began to view photography seriously. Important exhibitions at MoMA and the National Gallery graced his career. This is one of the rare early prints by the artist with impeccable provenance and is in pristine condition. Thrilled to offer this evening to help raise money for the KMA, who will get us started. At the first bid will be $5,000 on lot number 1 at $5,000. Are we coming in? It's at $5,000. Thank you. We're at $5,000. The next bid will be $7,000. We're currently at $5,000 for the KMA at $5,000. Anyone else clicking in at $5,000 then? Last chance, I'll say, I will sell for $5,000. Fair warning, gavel's coming down at $5,000. Sold $5,000, and thank you so much for your generous donation, and congratulations on your acquisition. Moving on now to lot number 2. Showing on your screen this evening, the Al Hirschfield titled Benny Goodman. Ink on board. This work is unique, ladies and gentlemen. Hirschfield has a long association with Benny Goodman, with the musician using Hirschfield drawing his logos for many, many years. This drawing was executed for a Benny Goodman album cover. He's represented in many public collections, including the Metropolitan, the Whitney, the National Portrait Gallery, and Harvard's Theater Collection. This is a unique drawing by the artist, who is known for lithographs, so this is quite rare, and we're thrilled to have this evening. The freshness of the drawing shows Hirschfield's lively and confident hand in a more direct and powerful way. Hirschfield's drawings were the subject of a major exhibition at the Katonah Museum in 1998. Ladies and gentlemen, we can get started here at $5,000. Who will say $5,000? At $5,000, just one click in, at $5,000 for the Hirschfield. At $5,000, at $5,000, are we coming in? At $5,000. Last chance, ladies and gentlemen, at $5,000 for this beautiful drawing at $5,000. Fair warning then, at $5,000. Thank you. Moving on now to lot number 3. We'll be showing here on my right in just a moment the first of 2 beautiful works by Al Loving. This one titled Untitled, Search for Wall number 3. Watercolor and pencil on Arches paper. Ladies and gentlemen, the artist was born in Detroit and moved to New York in 1968. A year later, famously became the first African-American artist to have a one-person show at the Whitney Museum. He also had solo exhibitions at many well-known institutions throughout his career, and it's featured in major museums such as the Met, MoMA, the Studio Museum, and, of course, the Whitney. While he had his first solo show at the Whitney, the KMA was exhibiting an important young African-American artist, Bisa Butler, in her first solo museum exhibition, a wonderful tie between the two. The Katona Museum has auctioned 2 colored pencil drawings of similar scale previously in February earlier this year. But this, ladies and gentlemen, is a beautiful watercolor, and the opacity of this relates more closely to his paintings. We can get started here on lot number 3. At lot number 3 at $2,500, we're already at $3,500. Thank you so much for your bids. At $3,500 already. At $3,500 are we going on? It's at $35. $45 will be next. It's at $3,500. At $3,500, are we all through? At $3,500, selling then for $3,500. Fair warning, gavels up for $3,500. Sold $35. Thank you so much. Moving on now to lot number 4, showing here on the easel to my right, the next of the beautiful watercolor and pencil works by Al Loving, this one entitled Untitled Search for Wall number 4. Ladies and gentlemen, we already have some competition coming in online. Thank you so much. I will start the bidding then already at $4,500 already. At $4,500 is bid. At $4,500 are we going on? It's at $4,500. At $4,500. Last chance on the last of the 2 Al Lovings at $4,500. Shall we say one more? At $4,500 then. At $45. I'll say last chance then. At $4,500. Fair warning. In time, $5,500. Thank you so much for your bid. That was with the gavel. We're still at $5,500. At $5,500, I'll give the underbidder one more chance to click back in. We're at $5,500. At $5,500, are we through this time? At $5,500, thank you for your generosity. Selling then for $5,500. Sold $5,500, and thank you. And the last of the live lots this evening, ladies and gentlemen, a name known to all and many, I am sure, a wonderful work by Andy Warhol showing on your screens titled Shoes. This is a watercolor and pencil on paper. The rise in popularity of the instant Polaroid photograph in the 1950s gave Warhol endless opportunities to capture new subjects and ideas. The artist kept his Polaroid camera close at hand, documenting the muses and installations in his artist studio, The Factory, the characters he encountered on the streets of New York City, and the celebrities he met in Hollywood. Warhol's Polaroids were instrumental in his process of creating his master silkscreen portraits. This work, on offer, Shoes, is currently being exhibited at the Newport Art Museum in Newport, Rhode Island. The lot is accompanied by a private tour for 2 by the curator of the exhibition, Andy Warhol, Big Shot, on view at the Newport Art Museum through December 20th, 2020. With that, ladies and gentlemen, I can open the bidding at $5,000, and I see we already have $5,000. Thank you so much for your generosity. It is $5,000 for the Warhol. $7,000 would be next. Thank you. $7,000 already. $9,000 will be next. We are at $7,000 for this fantastic work and the private tour. At $7,000. Will you say 9? We are at $7,000. Are we all through? At $7,000 for Andy Warhol Shoes. At $7,000. Last chance then on the last live lot at $7,000. I'll say fair warning at $7,000. Hammers coming down at $7,000. Sold $7,000. Thank you all so much for your participation. We now have a short video, and we will switch over to that. I'll see you in just a moment.
In 1969, the Katonah Gallery moved into a room in the first floor of the Katonah Village Library. There was a dedication ceremony at which Jack Bauer, a founder of the gallery and then the director of the Whitney Museum of Art, spoke. He said, "This small room has a potential far beyond its square footage to become a center of intellectual stimulation, a center of human understanding, and a center of plain joy. More than 50 years later, that is what we are, and that is why I am so proud of the Katonah Museum of Art."
The response to the pandemic has been really nimble and sophisticated, and the transition to an online programming platform has been wonderful. We've had great events and exhibitions and programming. We're thrilled that the museum is now reopened.
I am so proud of our exhibition schedule this year. Sparkling Amazons brought female abstract expressionist artists for a new look at this important period of American art. And now, the most stunning and relevant art by Bisa Butler. She brings the craft of quilting to a new level. I believe it is artistic genius. Her subject matter, portraits of the Black experience, give dignity, humanity, with an explosion of color and pattern.
After months of not being able to view art in person, it was an incredible experience to return to the KMA. But we have something for everyone, depending on your comfort level. You can still visit us online, even though we are open. We will continue to create engaging virtual programs for all.
Hello, it's me. I've thought about us for a long, long time. Maybe I think too much, but something's wrong. There's something here that doesn't last too long.
We are incredibly grateful to the board for their continued commitment to the KMA's mission, and we would love others to join us in supporting the museum.
As acting president of the KMA last year, I came in contact with the back office in a way I hadn't before. I came to know the individuals on staff, each one's talents, the group's loyalty, energy, creativity, all of which was and continues to be overseen by our inspirational, fearless, never say die, brilliant leader, Michael. It is a formidable team, and I am grateful that my position last year allowed me to truly understand and appreciate that.
This is an extraordinary moment for the KMA, for our community, for the entire world. And it's also an opportunity for us to come together to show how much we value the treasure, the gem that is the KMA right in our own backyard. We have an extraordinary history of supporters. We have an amazing staff. We put on world-class exhibitions and programs with the support of our board, our emeriti, our advisory board. I hope that everyone will come together, our members, our visitors, and support the KMA tonight.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. It's been such a pleasure being with you this evening. We all have an opportunity tonight to help continue support this amazing cultural institution. Your donation will directly sustain the museum's dynamic and diverse exhibitions and programming, ensuring that the KMA continues to be a vital force in our cultural community for many years to come. It can also help support education programs for children, families, students, and seniors to enrich their lives through art. Future catalogs and exhibitions of every culture and time period, infrastructure, and capital improvements. An exciting announcement, Arts Westchester, a major funder of the Katonah Museum of Art and arts across Westchester County, has issued a challenge grant and will match up to $7,500 of tonight's paddle raise. So please, everyone, help the KMA reach their goal of $250,000 for their gala with your contribution. Thank you so much already to those who have donated. Mike Davies, thank you. And to Ellen Grimes, thank you. Robin Simon, thank you. LaRuth Gray, we thank you. And to Stephanie Klein de Christina, thank you. Ellen Williams, thank you. Continue to click in and to give. I see that number ticking up. Thank you, Jean Markle. And Ellen Calves. Linda Levine, we thank you, and the countless other donations. Ladies and gentlemen, as you continue to help support the KMA, I'd like to remind you that the silent auction and the donation will be open until 8 o'clock. So continue to tick in and help support the KMA. I'm thrilled to announce that thus far we have raised, I'm looking at this number here as it's ticking up, over $200,000, ladies and gentlemen, over $200,000. We are nearing that goal of 250. We thank you for your support. We thank you for joining us this evening and look forward to welcoming you at the KMA very soon. Thank you for having me, and congratulations to the wonderful team here and all of the supporters. Have a great evening.
The Katona Museum of Art was a big part of what drew us to living in Katona 8 years ago, and we still to this day talk about how amazing it is to have a museum in our town's backyard. Our son celebrated his 5th birthday in the Learning Center and Atrium with a magic show, and he asks us to visit every week. Whether it's a visit for Family Day or a special event, we always enjoy our individual and collective experiences.
The opportunity to be chairs of the KMA Gala came with a great honor for us, especially now. Art is the language of humanity, perpetual expression. It's forgiving, it's provocative, humbling or powerful, spontaneous or blueprinted, often both, as one vision may always be revised.
We hope that whether you are new to the museum or have been visiting and supporting for years, that you will join us in raising your glass to this amazing institution.
It has been wonderful to come together with you, the KMA community, and to share this evening celebrating the museum together. We cannot stress enough how important you are to the Katona Museum of Art. Thank you for joining us tonight and for your generous support of our exhibitions, education programs, and events. They would not be possible without you. In closing, I would like to thank Debbie Mullen and Ellen Grimes for their strong leadership during the past year, one that included unprecedented challenges. I am grateful to them for their commitment to the museum and their support as I transitioned into the board president role. Lastly, I want to thank the members of my executive committee, who I look forward to working with during the next 3 years. They are Craig Intinarelli, Vice President, Jean Markel, Secretary, Mike Davies, Treasurer, and Tara Conieris and Benny Himmel, both members at large. Thank you for agreeing to serve with me and for embracing this moment of revisioning. Our community has been and continues to be an inclusive community. We look forward to engaging and inspiring all through art in the coming years.
Thank you all for attending the KMA 2020 Gala. We have a very exciting season coming up with 2 exhibitions opening on October 20th. Hands in Earth, Perspectives on Japanese Contemporary Ceramics, and Rothko, one of the artist's most important works in a specially designed space for reflection. Accompanying these exhibitions, we have some surprising programs and events, both virtual and live. Please remember that you and your generosity are a critical part of what makes the KMA such a special place. If you haven't been to the museum in a while, revisit. If you haven't had a chance to enjoy a membership or give to the museum recently, rejoin and re-engage. Your welcoming spirit, your authenticity, your creativity and vision are the KMA. You are the KMA. Thank you to the staff and volunteers, especially Leah Emery and Michelle Rakowski, to dancers Megan Williams, Reika Escher, Minga Prather, and Michael Wang, filmmaker Vanessa Smith, and photographer Margaret Fox, to our wonderful board, led last year by Debbie Mullen and Ellen Grimes, and now by Vita Fubister, and finally, to our creative gala committee, led by Melissa and Dave Dilmagani. Good night, everyone.